in the station as Layal runs a woman-only fuel station in a segregated, war-torn town. She is faced with her 12-year-old brother's growing desire to break free and become a man. When Layal's estranged sister unexpectedly shows up with a proposition for their brother, the siblings' relationship is put to the test. The station is directed by Sarah Shuck, and she has previously directed the film The Mulberry House in 2013, and the station just debuted at the 2026 Cannes Film Festival. The Station is a pretty engaging film from director Sarah Ishak. It is set in Yemen, and it's set in a fuel station run by Layal, played by Manal Maliki. And she runs this station. All of the women who live around this station, they come to her station to socialize and collect fuel and get supplies and just hang out with their fellow ladies who are kind of like waiting for their men to come home from the war. And they basically have to fend for themselves because their men, they only get to see their husbands or brothers or sons like once a month when they're on the break from the war, and they have to fend for themselves. And in Yemen, once the men, or once the boys reach the age of 12 years old, they're basically like forced to join the war and start training to be a soldier to help out their country. When Layal's brother, played by Rashad Raja, he turns 12, and basically the community elder, she comes to the fuel station and informs Layal that she needs to give her brother, younger brother, to the war, like to become a man. But Layal has seen what's happened to men who join the war. They come back damaged men. They like have post-traumatic stress from the war, or they get killed. And she really worries about her brother during the war. She really wants to like hide him and really keep him from ever joining the war. If Layal comes up with the money to give to the village elder, then she can fend off the pressures to give her younger brother Leif to the war. But Layal doesn't really have the funds because the village elder asks for too much money, and Layal doesn't really have the funds to give her, so she contacts her sister Sham so they can get their inheritance and protect their brother. But the sister Shams doesn't really trust the village elder, and so both sisters come up with a plan to hide their younger brother with a family member. In the final half an hour of the film turns into a bit of a thriller when they leave this fuel station and they have to travel with the younger brother to a destination, and the younger brother ends up getting lost in this battle. They have to go through many checkpoints, and this whole community around this fuel station is like different ethnicities and religions. It's so complex. As an outsider to this film, it was interesting to see how you just travel like half an hour, 20 minutes or 1 hour in a direction, and you have to go through a checkpoint, and everybody's judging everybody's different, like just even though everybody's from the same country, everybody's from a different tribe or different culture, and you can get killed just by going through different checkpoints. The first 20 minutes of this film is just Layal just socializing with the other women in the fuel station, and we just get to see how she runs this fuel station and what kind of goods she supplies. I found these first 20 minutes of the film, I think I understand what they're going for with this. It introduces us to this culture and Layal and her brother's everyday life, but I think it just took a little bit too long to get into the story, and eventually once Layal finds out that her younger brother, she needs to protect her younger brother. It's about half an hour into the film. So once the film does get going, especially in the final act of the film, once it turns into a little bit a political thriller, and that's really the strength of the film. But I just found it took a little bit too long to get into the main central plot of the film. But that said, it is still a very engaging film. I give The Station 3.5 stars out of 5. This film takes a little bit while to get going, but once the central plot of Layal and her sister Shams trying to protect their younger brother Laith from joining the war in Yemen, then it really does pick up, and the final half an hour of the film is quite thrilling and very engaging, and this is a really interesting. We don't really get a lot of films set in Yemen, so it's really interesting to see. It's very hard as a man and a woman to live in this country. The women have to basically fend for themselves, and the men basically have to join the war, and they come back a shell of themselves. So this is a very interesting film from Yemen that I highly recommend checking out. Thanks for watching. What did you think of Decision? Please comment below what you thought of the film. See you next time. Bye.